So good afternoon to you. What are the major issues under review in the Electoral Act as the summit is happening?
Well, of course, remember that during the last elections in 2023, there was various issues and concerns raised as regards, the Electoral Act. Don't forget we're still using the 2022 Electoral Act. And so looking at the issues that Nigerian stakeholders have complained about in the last elections, we're not having a House of Rep and Senate Joint Committee, having to look at some of those issues raised in the last elections. And of course, look at consider some of the issues raised and concerns and how, some of this document can be put together and then taken back to the National Assembly for, further deliberations. So basically, it's just all about having of course, we have Senator Dixon, who is the coordinating chairman representing Senator Lalong, and we also have the Senator Abdul Nengi representing Bachi Senatorial District, and all other senators represented here. So at the end of the day, we expect that they will all put up their ideas together and see how they can, champion a better Electoral Act as far as the 2025 is concerned. Don't forget, we're all looking at 2027, just a couple of years from now. So nobody wants to repeat mistakes or errors made in the last elections, because that will, sound disastrous. Of course, I do have Senator Abdul Nengi here, and we would also like to, give us his statement on what his constituents will be expecting after these meetings. Senator Nengi, thank you so much for joining us. Let's have it very quickly. Tell us exactly what proposals, what are we expecting, what should we expect after this meeting regarding the electoral reforms that you and other lawmakers are trying to fix here at this meeting?
Well, thank you for having me. Let me assure you, this is not a one-off meeting. Our meeting today is a product of a retreat, probably hearing in the last 1.5 years. And therefore, what we are trying to do now is to come up with summary resolutions that the two joint committees will be able to take to their various chambers and explain reasons behind the amendments as we are trying to put forward. Some of the amendments looking at the 2023 election and the gaps that was noticed and the expectation of Nigerians for a very fair, transparent election. These amendments that we're seeing has to do with technology. In other words, we were looking at the possibilities of transmitting elections electronically real time, which means as you are voting, results have been assessed by various segments of INEC. We are also looking at possibilities of whether or not we have the ability, the infrastructure to have an election in one day. That means you run the election, 5 different elections in one day. We are looking at the possibilities. We are also looking at the possibilities of whether it is right to have some special staff who run election on that day will have an opportunity to have to vote before the real election, like the security agents, the journalists, the INEC staff. This is what we are debating at this moment as to whether or not we should have the ability to do an election. And by our assessment, we came to a conclusion that when you add security agencies, journalists, observers, we are looking at a rough of almost 5 million voters that day. So this is what we are trying to do. If the argument converts by the proponent of this thing, then this resolution will be taken to the floor. We've started with that one, and we are on it, and there will be a vote on it before taken to the visit. Then the bimodal voter card, whether or not you can have your voter card transmitted through your phone, and then rather than the physical voter card. So we're looking at every option. Our idea is, can we have an electoral system that will add value to Nigerians? Can we have an opportunity whereby when Nigerians vote, their votes will be counted and taken into consideration? We're also looking at the court processes. What do we do with an election whereby tribunal, you go through tribunal, you go through appeal court, you go through Supreme Court. Is there any shortcut to it? So these are some of the things that we want to make sure, because we have found over time, when you have a sitting elected official, it is actually very rare to remove him because of the Nigerian factor. So we want to make sure that when the president is sworn in, the president is sworn in without any case pending on him. So also members of the National Assembly, Senate assemblies. These are some of the things that we are looking at. We have about close to 20 amendments that we are looking at the possibility of inserting. But that is not the end of the matter here. You now take it to their various chamber, try to convince them as to whether or not these are needed in the electoral system. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Senator Abdul Negi. So basically, the intention of this meeting is just to see how they can, make much better. The Electoral Act of 2022, and see how they can, look at all the issues raised concerning that act, present this case to the National Assembly when they all finish their meeting right here. Do not forget, this is a joint committee of the Senate and the House of Reps. So we look forward to what the document, entails. Of course, we don't have such opinion to that, so we just have to wait. And do not forget, it's a long process. The president, of course, will have to assent to whatever decisions they make right here after this meeting.
All right. Victor, we appreciate you for that. Victor Mbadike, their correspondent, live from the venue for the Joint Committee on just looking at the Electoral Act ahead of 2027.